Okay. It is that very time. That very time where we do a special edition of the Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. I'm your host, Ben, tonight on the Lover of Tech channel, and we are, of course, live. And we are live with the iPhone 15 Pro. Let's take it out of studio mode. iPhone 15 Pro. The small Pro. Not the Pro Max, but we've got the iPhone 15 Pro. Not the Pro Max yet, so we got to be a bit patient with that one. But yes, it's 3 days later with the iPhone 15 Pro. So we're going to pretty much be throwing down and seeing how has my experience been so far after 3 days, after 72 hours since I've had it from Sunday. I think I've had it since Sunday, yes. So the whole day Sunday, whole day Monday yesterday, and then pretty much the whole day Tuesday today. So yes, we are pretty much going to be talking about all things related to this bad boy here, the iPhone 15 Pro. So yes, definitely. It's going to be a good one for sure. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Of course, we do have the previous year iPhone 14 Pro, and we've got the direct competitor from Samsung, which is the Galaxy S23, not the S23 Plus, but the S23, right? 6.1. So yes, that's what we have right now. But we're gonna put these two away, and we are going to focus on what is the iPhone 15 Pro, and pretty much go through everything that is in relations to it that we want to know, that we're curious to know, and we're really interested in knowing, which is how has the design and the overall build quality felt to me after the 72 hours, after the 3 days of it, right? What's the display experience been like? How's the display experience been like with the iPhone 15 Pro? What's the display experience been like? How's the performance? We're going to test it. We're going to do some gaming. Right, we've got Candleman, Grim Valor, Asphalt 9. How's the display experience been? How's the performance been? How's the camera especially? How has the camera experience been on the iPhone 15 Pro? And what's the battery life experience been so far next to the charging over the past couple of days, right? And what has it been treating me when it comes to having it since Sunday, as you can see, right? Put the brightness down a bit. You can see I've only had it since Sunday, whole day Sunday, whole day Monday. Pretty much we're into the whole day Tuesday now, right? And we are on 72%. Talk about things like the USB-C port. What does it exactly mean? Because Apple's got one of the fastest USB-C ports on a smartphone right now, which is fantastic, right? And just what's my overall consensus of the iPhone 15 Pro? My concerns, what's really impressed me, what's really surprised me in a short space of time, and is this still enough compared to what they've done on the Pro Max? So yeah, we're throwing down, we're gonna be talking about all things related to the iPhone 15 Pro. In the meantime, let's jump into the comments and see what's good. Zen Darko, Kabina. Kabina, is that you? I got my youngest from the block. Kabina, is that you? Zen Darko. That name. That name is synonymous. Zen Darko. Yes, younger Matty Cobbs in the house. Of course, he is in and out. You will probably see him on camera free, but he's at the back editing. Lover of Tech team, Lover of Tech media. We're back to back. He's celebrating a year with the team. And of course, he's just been an integral backbone of getting content assisted, produced, and edited especially. So yeah, we're out here, man. We're out here. Jeff Hell, blessings, everyone. Blessings to you, Joe. Consistent as always. Jeff, appreciate it, man. We've got 15 concurrent users in the house. Let's go on the X app and let people know that we are, of course, live. We're going to go in here and just a friendly reminder to people that we are live. We are live. Boom. All right, I'm going to switch to camera one for a minute. See someone message me in the DMs. Hey, iPhone, Samsung cameras, but I'll show you. And the similarity of the results shocks me. You're making shorts. Whoa, what the hell? Why do I always get these weird people always asking, am I making shorts? And listen, man, chill out. Okay, let's do camera 1, 3, and 2. Yep. We're cooking. Yep, we're cooking. We're cooking. We are cooking, baby. We are cooking. Have to say, man, the slightly slimmer bezels and borders on the iPhone 15 Pro is nice. I gotta give it. It is nice. It is nice. It is really, really nice. This OLED display is really nice. The virtual touch bar, as I like to call it, not the dynamic island. Virtual touch bar or dynamic island, which is a better name? Please tell me. Dunkovin, what's good? How are you holding it when it's so hot? I'll be honest. This is not an app. This is not me defending Apple in any way. I've not had any issues as such, but we're gonna test it out. But you know, my usage has been quite intense because of the camera, especially. And I mean, it's been okay. We've not had any issues as such. Yes, Kabina, it's you, man. What's good, man? Appreciate you being here. We're gonna be here for about a good 2 hours. If you've not experienced our special Tech and Chill Show Unplugged live stream, we pretty much go hard, pause all the way through and make sure that we are testing everything thoroughly. We're gonna be doing that exactly tonight. This is how we do. This is how we do. Boom, dum, dum, dum. This is, yep, you know it. Kind words from the boss, man. Yes, just speaking the truth, man. Dynamic Island. He prefers Dynamic Island over Virtual Touch Bar. Oh, you're sipping on the apple Kool-Aid. Not even that apple juice, the apple Kool-Aid. He's sipping on the apple Kool-Aid. He is sipping on the apple Kool-Aid. Oh. All right, what we got? iPhone 15 Pro. iPhone 15 Pro. Yes. This was announced on the 12th of September. One of 4 models of iPhone, hierarchying from the top, which is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which saw the biggest update when it came to the camera, when it came to zoom, right? Then the 15 Pro, 15 Plus, and then the iPhone 15, which is the starting base model. So this is what we have right now from Apple, right? And this is the white titanium, which I think is a beautiful color. I would say the white titanium and the natural titanium have definitely been the ones to steal the show this time around when it comes to popularity of the design, the look, and the visual feel. Especially when it comes to the rails, because it does catch fingerprints, but with the natural and the white titanium, it hides it very well. I am missing on the 5x zoom, and we're not going to get ahead too much with the camera because we're going to talk about everything and break it down in place. But I will say that iPhones, in terms of size and feel, really belong in the 6.1, 6.2 inch form factor, in my personal opinion. I'll reserve what my thoughts are once I get an iPhone 15 Pro Max come in. But I just feel like iPhones and iOS devices feel really nice in terms of software usability in this size and form factor. So yeah, we're just putting it out there. Does look clean. It does look clean. What we got? I think people get defective units. I don't think it's a systematic issue. It's hard to know. It's not an island. Exactly. It's a virtual touch bar. It's a virtual touch bar because you can touch it and it has virtual things that it behaves when you put timers on, start, and goes right there, right? That's just an example. Touch and hold. Press. I think that action should be in reverse in my opinion. But again, remove. And in terms of software, we are on the latest version of iOS 17.0.2. Just for the record for anyone, this is what we're working with. So, without further ado, because Ahsoka's going to be on in an hour and a half. So I'm going to be wrapped up so I can watch Ahsoka. Mind my Star Wars-ness, right? So let's get into it when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro. What do we have? It says worth buying. I'm moving from Redmi Note 8. Yeah, 100% worth buying. Sorry, man. Once you said Xiaomi and you said Redmi, yeah, I was like, yo. they're not in the same league. We're not the same. We're not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Just come out of it. Okay. Let me cancel. Come out of the timer. All right, cool. Hey Ben, do you think if Steve Jobs never died that he would have all these different types of iPhones choices? I think No, Steve wouldn't. Steve is very stubborn. Steve wouldn't have allowed the iPhone to get any bigger than 6 inches in my opinion. 6.1, I think even in Steve's eyes is too big. But I'll be honest with you, iPhones at this size are so sweet and good to use. Yes, Bailey in the house, Portland, Jamaica in the building. What's good? Salute my general. What's good? Oh, nice. I forgot. Perfect for for night one of work road trip. Okay, salute my general. Salute my guy. Appreciate you being in here as per. Appreciate the support, man. All right, let's throw down. Let's throw down. Let's throw down. This is the white titanium, right? The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max come in 4 colors. They come in the natural titanium, white titanium, blue titanium, and a black titanium. I would say that the blue and the black titanium are the least popular this year. Natural titanium definitely is the one that stole the show. And I think secretly, the white titanium is actually the second best potential color. I can't speak for the other two when it comes to blue as well as the black. Obviously, the blue titanium is the one that I've ordered for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's gonna come a bit later. Hopefully comes in time with the Pixel 8 Pro coming out, or Pixel 8 Pro being officially announced next week, Wednesday. But again, when that officially comes out, probably be after 1 week pre-order. So should be looking to do reviews and stuff around it. But yes, for reference, this is the iPhone 14 Pro in gold. And it's probably going to be easier to reference it and see what the changes are. So I'm just going to put this on the side right now. Focus on here. So what Apple said is that they're using a grade 5 titanium alloy for the frame. And with that comes a slightly contoured edge all around, which makes it so much more comfortable to hold. This probably has to be one of the most comfortable I'll be on record and say I've held a lot of iPhones through the generations. This is probably one of the most comfortable ones I've held, considering the size and the form factor not being an iPhone 4, which was like glass on metal, and the glass was quite sharp but slightly rounded at the bottom, but quite sharp. I'll probably say one of the iPhone 12 minis and 13 minis were very, very comfortable. iPhone 5S was decently comfortable, I'd say. But I think out of comfort levels, right? The iPhone 15 Pro is probably the one that I would say really hits up there in terms of pure comfort. I really, really like what Apple have done here. This is really nice. It is lighter. It is lighter, but you see, the lightness is not just in pure weight reduction, but it's also weight distribution, in my opinion. I feel like how the weight is distributed, and I don't know whether it's because internally they've done the fusion, what they're saying with an internal fused aluminium subframe. I don't know whether that's what's helping it with the weight distribution, but it's not just a weight drop, but it's also a weight drop mixed with just a phone that feels much better distributed. Like you can really feel the heft on this one, which isn't a bad heft, but you feel it more because here, without a case, it's just cutting up your hands, like for real. These iPhones are razor sharp, proper cutting up your hands. And you don't really, it's almost like you get used to it, but this is cutting. This is cutting. Whereas this isn't. This is hella comfy. This feels like it's really pressing into your hands nicely. I honestly think Apple have done a really good job. Very, very slight change. It is using a next-gen material that is very hard to deal with by the looks of it in terms of, anodizing it, coating it in color. I think they're using a PVD coating from what they said. But this so far has really impressed me. The buttons feel perfect. One thing I love about iPhones is the fact that the power button on the right, or the side button as they call it, and the volume buttons are individual buttons, which I actually prefer individual buttons compared to a rocker, right? They're always symmetrical and adjacent to each other, which I really, really love. I love the convenience. And the introduction of the action button, right? What is the action button? Traditionally, what we've always come to know with iPhones is this mute switch toggle. Oh God, I don't want to do any of this name drop nonsense, right? Mute switch toggle, which as you can see, if you unlock it, takes it from silent to ring, silent to ring. That's all it's ever done. But this action button, right? I've mapped it to quick launch the camera and it goes straight into the video mode. So even if I switch it to photo, if I go out, press and hold, it brings it straight into video. And the good thing about it, it behaves as a shutter. So if you press it, it starts recording. If you press it, it stops recording. Just that alone is a win. But the action button itself, if we go into settings, we come out. The action button itself has its own menu. And if you look at it, it is bespoke to the iPhone 15. So if we go here and we go down to January, you see that under Control Center, right? There's no action button on the 14 Pro, but you've got it here. And it opens up this overly engineered user interface. And it just looks cool, right? And then obviously accessibility is there. No action. Why you would want to do that, Lord knows. And it doesn't even give a haptic feedback, which is great. Accessibility, you can choose it. Shortcuts, you can go through here, right? Flash and torch, as you can see, press and hold. It does that and it gives a very, very nice haptic feedback. Voice memo, where you can go straight into voice memo, which is great. Camera is definitely my favorite. Focus modes, silent, which is obviously there by default as what comes. And shortcut is really good because obviously with shortcut, you can pretty much choose pretty much a slew of different things to open any app, right? Your favorite caller or contact, recently played music, new note. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. And it's impressive that it allows you to do that. But for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed having the ability to be able to go into the camera, pick which mode I want to go into, boom. And that is the action button. And because of the size of the iPhone 15 Pro, I feel like the action button is way more enjoyable. I can't speak yet for the 15 Pro Max. But I feel like for the 15 Pro Max, potentially, unless you have really, really big hands, right? Which I've got decent sized hands. You could just go here, bam, less hand gymnastics, bang. So the overall design, as minor as it may seem, I think, even compared to Samsung's equivalent 6.1-inch flagship device, which is the Galaxy S21, S23, sorry, right? Even compared to the S23, S23 is fairly comfortable because it's got more of a rounded edge, but the sides here are still sharp enough. I would say Apple takes the cup here. And with the front display being slightly slimmer in terms of the bezels, it's really on par with what you're seeing from Samsung, with both having evenly symmetrical bezels. And when you look here, you can see that it's a huge, enough improvement for you to notice it side by side. Then you just get used to it. Then you appreciate for what it is. I think Apple personally, when it comes to the design of the iPhone 15 Pro, they've done a stellar job when it comes to the overall build and the design quality so far. I've not suffered any scratches or so, but I definitely recommend you get a case on this. But this is probably one of the first iPhones where it feels so comfortable without a case, that you would be tempted not to. If so, get Apple Care. Make sure you get insurance on that bad boy, man. Get Apple Care. And I know Jerry rig everything, people are going to be saying that, oh, he broke the glass and whatnot. I'm not going to try that here, but I'm just saying, like, yo, that's his job to stress test, isn't it? I find those videos very hard to watch because I'm not someone that loves destructive tech. But this is the overall fit and feel. Nice frosted finish at the back. This, yeah, I will say, you know what? For design on a Pro device, this is pretty much Apple at their best. This is Apple pretty much at their best. And I've got to give it to them. I've got to give it to them. Let's jump into the comments and see what everyone is saying. Oh, dear Lord. Let me. All right. Apologies. Let's see who we've got. 1, 2, 3. Bam. Let's make that the center of focus. And let's see what's got. The iPhone 14 Pro or this. I would say 15 Pro. The change to the USB-C port, I just think we need to move away from Lightning, man. I think oddly enough, in my opinion, the prices have balanced out. Last year's 14 Pro were way more expensive than they needed to be, just based on the fact that in the UK specifically and Europe, especially in the UK, inflation really hit us hard. The currency in the UK really took a tanking. And the iPhones last year in terms of pricing were way more expensive than they needed to be. So the fact that they're actually back to normality for what they should be in terms of what an iPhone should be, I just say get the 15 Pro if you're going to get the 15 Pro. I just think get the 15 series altogether. If you're so adamant to just get an iPhone, get the 15 series altogether. The switch to USB-C is just so much better, especially for the Pro models. Especially for the Pro models. Right? So that's just my opinion. Fold 5 or the 15 Pro Max. I would say Fold 5 just because what happened to the comments? Sorry. Apologies. Let me just go to studio mode. Comments, chats, copy. Uh, there we go. Studio mode. There we go. Let's lift this up right here so the comment isn't blocking it. You can see the phone in it all its glory. Fold 5 or the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm a foldable lover, so by principle, I'm going to say the Fold 5. But again, there are two different price categories, two product categories that are different in that retrospect. So it's kind of unfair to compare it in that sense. So I would say Fold 5, but hey, that's just me personally. The 7 different focal lengths are phenomenal. I don't think it's 7 focal lengths, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. It's called a dynamic button thingy. It's a virtual button. It's a virtual touch bar, in my opinion. I just think the virtual touch bar is a better name than Dynamic Island. Apple were just doing the most calling this thing Dynamic Island. Like, allow it. Just try it with your 14 Pro Max. Just try what? The 15 Pro Max is great, but I cannot justify upgrading from the 13 Pro Max at all. But it's tempting. Who is these 15 series for? If you're coming from an iPhone 12 series from 2020 and later, and soon, like, and later, right? Previous, like iPhone 12 series and before, then yes, the 15 series is definitely for you. If you're coming from a 14 series and a 13 series, you can wait another year. You can definitely wait another year. You'll survive. Especially if you're on a 13 Pro Max. If your battery health is still within the 80 range, somewhere to 90 range, you're good. Just like put up with it. Put up with it. But if you're coming from any of these devices before from the 12 and before, yeah, just get the 15. Like, don't bother getting like the 13 or the 14. You know, getting brand new ones with good batteries in them. It's not something that you're gonna find that easy. So that's just my opinion personally. Hey Ben, I've never seen an Apple Watch on you. Are you not a smartwatch guy? I'm not really a smartwatch guy like that. If I'm going to use a smartwatch, it's going to be a Galaxy Watch. It definitely is going to be a Galaxy Watch because I'm more of an Android user than I am an iOS user. You know, I test iOS phones, I test iPhones, but in terms of what platform do I use religiously, it's gonna really be 2 Android phones most of the time. It's one fold and one solid slab. Right now, it's the Pixel Fold is my business phone with my business number in it, and my personal phone is the one that is the S23 Ultra because the camera is just so flexible in that retrospect, right? So one has 5x zoom, one has 3x and a 10x zoom. I'm winning. That's just how my life is personally. So you won't see an Apple Watch on me. And you will barely see a smartwatch on me, but if I'm gonna have a smartwatch, it's gonna be the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. Hope that helps. Boom, what's good everyone? Yes, have you chosen a case for it yet? Oh, actually, let me do a quick preview of the case. And it's crazy because gotta give my boy love. Came in, check him. T and technically T in collaboration with tech YouTuber Technically T, we are happy to introduce a new colorway for the iPhone 14 and 15 models. And T share the same love for Apple products, the latest tech accessories, minimalist design, making this collaboration a perfect fit. Whether you're already familiar with Aspen or this is your first time, we are proud to launch Technically Red as a limited edition colorway. Boom! Shout out to my bro. Hi Benjamin, we are super excited to share Technically Red with you. We know your support means so much to T. Destiny with 2 N's. Boom. This will be my case of choice. Shout out to the bro Technically T in the house. This will be my case of choice, but unfortunately, my fault. Hey, how many T's? I get 2 T's. Look at that, I got 2 T's. My boy, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. He niced it. But unfortunately, I asked for the 15 Pro Max because I ended up ordering both the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. The 15 Pro is the one that came. I thought the 15 Pro Max was going to be the one that was going to be here. So this is the 15 Pro Max. This will be my case of choice. I'm going to ask T and see, hopefully, you know, him and Andar can also get me over the 15 Pro. But yes, the Technically Red Aspen and minimalist case with MagSafe in there. Definitely, this will be my case of choice. Shout out to the bro technically T. Shout out to the guys over at Andar. Really, really proud of what you've been able to do on this one, T. And that will be my case of choice. Came in today. So let's put this away for now. I wish I could rock it, but I don't have the Pro Max yet. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah. He meant bending it. Driving in from work, glad I caught the stream. What's good, brother? What's good, brother? We're going to be here for a little while. You know how it is when he comes to these special edition live streams. Tectonic, what's good? Hi. Appreciate you being here. How are the photo colors for your melanated peoples? Well, you should go and watch my ultimate camera comparison I dropped today. My biggest and my second longest, but yet my most in-depth camera comparison yet. Ah, yes, Bengate is back, or Glassgate. Coming from the Z Fold 5, I do miss the folding functionality, but the iPhone 15 Pro Max has been flawless for me so far. I'm just a fold guy. I just can't not have a fold. Shout out to TKM, aka Tech King Mike in the house. What's good, Mike? Appreciate you being here, of course. Appreciate you being here, of course, my brother. Yep, appreciate you being here, of course. Nice one. I'm still team fold 5. Yeah, man. Honestly, once you go fold, you can't go back 100%. Once you go fold, you can't 100% go back. And I'll be honest with you. Next year, they will be able to put the 5x zoom on the smaller one. Apple always do this. Apple always do this, right? We go back. This is something they've always done. If you look at the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, that was the case. If you look at the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 8, that was the case. Dual camera, single camera, dual camera, single camera. iPhone 10 was dual camera. 10X and 10X Max, dual cameras. iPhone 11 Pro, right? Both 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max both had dual, triple cameras with a 2X zoom. When we got to the iPhone 12 with the 12 Pro, we got the 12 Pro with the 2X, 12 Pro Max with the 2.5X with a less aperture. Then iPhone 13 Pro, they were aligned in terms of the fact that 3X zoom on both the Pro Max and the 13 Pro. Same for the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max, same camera system. Big revolution comes with this new Tetra Prism 5X zoom lens with 100% focus pixels, f2.8, bigger aperture, 3D sensor shift stabilization with OIS, right? At the minute, it can only pretty much fit in the Pro Max. That's why the little Pro 6.1 inch didn't get it. But I promise you, next year they're gonna be able to put it, and it's gonna be all enjoyable, and we're not gonna have to stress out about picking a bigger and a smaller one. But you know what? I'll defend Apple because I think Apple are still one of only few people that genuinely, where they can, with both Pro models, whether it's Pro Max and Pro, they do their best to actually allow you to have the same experience. It's just the size, right? So sometimes when they're not doing that, if you look at the Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus compared to the S23 Ultra, they've got different camera systems. Now, I get it, the S23 Plus and S23 do have the same camera system, 50 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel zoom and whatnot, fine. But yeah, I just feel like it's one of those where it's a shame we couldn't get the 5x zoom, but I think next year, the 16 series, the smaller one will have the 5x zoom, which I'll be very happy with. Because I'll be honest with you, as much as I love big phones, when it comes to iOS, I just still think iPhones behave well within that 6.1 to 6.2 inch size form factor. Obviously, this has 6.1 inches as well. That's what she said, pause. And then 6.1 inches as well on the 14 Pro, but with bigger bezels, of course. So this is what we have here in that retrospect. Is 2000 nits only available on the auto brightness? Yes, it's an auto brightness feature. So remember, your auto brightness is not in the display settings. Apple are kind of weird when it comes to this, right? Always on display is there. And obviously you can show wallpaper or you can disable it, always on display, show notifications. True tone, take it off. Obviously dark mode, but we're gonna leave dark mode off so that it's easier to expose for the camera and not show smudges and whatnot. But your automatic brightness is in accessibilities, right? If you go to display, auto brightness is right there, right? So we're gonna turn it off just so we don't get no display fluctuations and whatnot. But yes, the 2000 nits is specifically for outdoor situation. Standard brightness is 1000 nits, HDR is 1600 nits, and then 2000 nits really kicks in when you're outdoors in super bright situation, and it calibrates it, and it uses the proximity sensors here to be able to boost up. And it is something that really does make a difference, and it's something that you notice. Again, with this, it's 1750 nits on the S23. And then what we've got here is the same 2000 nits on here. The display effectively hasn't changed in terms of performance and specs. Maybe they might have optimized and tweaked certain things, but really it's just a visual representation of the front display where the bezels are slimmer so that you get a slightly physically smaller footprint for the device, right? So it is slightly smaller in terms of the footprint. Let me switch to camera 3. Right, so y'all can notice that it's slightly shorter, slightly shorter. So it's a slightly smaller footprint, lighter, better weight distribution, curved. It is probably the most comfortable iPhone that I've actually personally held and used, which is really good on Apple. I think this is Apple at their best, and they're really pushing boundaries. These are next generation materials with the grade 5 titanium, which I've got to give it to them. I've really got to give it to them. I'm really enjoying the design and the feel of it. The action button, the buttons themselves. Shout out to my guys in the USA. We still get a physical SIM card tray, yo. So nano SIM in there. Woo! And then a big side button here. USB-C, 10 gigabits per second, USB 3. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling this, man. Definitely feeling this. Watching this in flex mode with Messenger open on the bottom, getting the lowdown from the family at home. Exactly. Honestly, man, I rock with that. I rock with that, man. You experience a fold, especially the Samsung Fold experience. That's really flexible. Yeah, the software is amazing on it. Glaring sun. Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen your ultimate camera comparison yet. Did you try out the 5x zoom on the action mode? Unfortunately, bro, I don't have the Pro Max. I've only got the Pro at the minute. The Pro Max is coming later. I've ordered both, and yeah, the Pro came, but not the Pro Max. It's kind of peak. So I just got to sit this one out, and I'm just working things in reverse. We will get to the ultimate camera comparison. We did a 3-way camera comparison between these boys. So it's a 3-way, and it's 30 minutes. iPhone 14 Pro, 15 Pro versus the Galaxy S23, right? So in terms of MSRP, this is 849 for 128 gigabytes direct from Samsung, but obviously you can get way cheaper on Amazon. Brand new as well, like 700. Then this is 999 pounds, 1,000, and this was actually 1,100, or actually more, because this is 256, this is 512, that's 128 gig. But again, base models, this was actually expensive last year when it came out, and then this is actually less expensive, and then this is actually the least expensive. All three have triple camera systems. All three have 120 hertz displays, which these ones are better. So yeah, go check that out, bro. Go check that out. And yes, I did do the zoom on the action mode though. Now that you say it, it wasn't on the 5x, but I did do zoom on the action mode. I did do zoom on the action mode, so definitely go check it out. I think I'm gonna put even more bookmarks in there for specific tests that I was running, and I think that's gonna really help it. So yeah, I did do the action mode on the ultra wide, the 1x and the 3x zoom, but again, I don't have the 5x zoom to test it. So right now we have run through all things related to the design, looking at it from a standalone perspective with the white titanium, comparing it to the previous with the stainless steel of the iPhone 14 Pro, how this really just improves, and even improves compared to the armored aluminium that Samsung calls, right? And the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 glass at the back with a nice satin finish. I love the sound of it, ASMR. So there's that. We've talked about the display experience effectively, right? And let's do a display test because I've got my brightness meter right here and the battery's dead. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we want the light off. Okay, because it's easy for you to see. So we've got auto brightness off, I believe. Apologies for the display being too bright. um, let me see if I can turn it down to match the exposure. All right. It's maximum screen brightness, but I've turned down an exposure so you can kind of still see it to some extent, right? So this is maximum screen brightness, but I've adjusted the camera's exposure so you can see it properly to an extent. Display brightness right to the top. And then we're gonna go accessibility, display, auto brightness off. So we're gonna do a display test without the auto brightness on, right? So Richard Review Tech, 4K HDR brightness test. This is the one here that I use. Oh God, press it. Let's go into HDR, right? Okay. We're doing a display measurement brightness measuring test. Let's see how far we get. All right, bam. It's gonna boost one more. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. This is what we got. 1,853 nits of maximum screen brightness when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me bring it back to some form of normality. There we go. So we're gonna turn down the screen brightness. It's kind of wild, so we can see it properly. Yes. So put that in and we've put that through. You heard it here, folks. You saw it here, folks. This is what we got with auto brightness off, maximum screen brightness in pure white HDR. 1,853 nits is what we got. So I'll be honest with you, man. The iPhone display is kind of killer. And let's just bring in perspective because I think the iPhone 14 Pro, let's bring it in here, right? We're going to do the same. We're not going to do the display adjustments and stuff. Let's go to accessibility. We're going to go to display and turn off auto brightness. Turn brightness all the way up. Go into YouTube, 4K HDR test. Load this bad boy up. Put it into 4K. Right? I'm going to bring it here. And then let's see what we get with the iPhone. Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is about it as well, man. It's about it. It's about it. Give or take, it's the same. Give or take, it's the same. 1,800 nits, give or take. Yeah, give or take, very similar when it comes to the brightness. So this is effectively the same display experience. So these displays get stupid bright. You notice it as well. You really do notice it. So I'm going to turn off adaptive brightness, enable extra brightness. We're going to test it on the Galaxy S23 as well, 4K HDR test. Open this up. It's what we like to do. We like to test it, you know. We're just going to test the S23. Let's see what the S23 is saying. If we can get close to that 1,750 nits in any way, shape, or form. 1,370. Let's boost one more. Yeah, it's up there as well. It's up there as well. It's up there as well. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Oh, did I lose it? I did lose it. I think I've got low battery on this one, so apologies. Yeah, and I think it's going to boost one more time. This is on all pixels. Yeah, it's up there. 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 Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. I think with the smaller pixel area, yeah, it's definitely up there. So the iPhones, man, they get really, really bright. Samsung ones get bright too because they increase this from 1,300 nits to 1,750 nits. And you notice it, you notice it. There's your display brightness test. This is one of the things I love doing on the live streams. Effectively, the same display experience. Again, with iPhones, they don't really give you the option to put 60 hertz down. Obviously, to do that, you go into motion, you can limit the frame rate, and it says that you can limit it to 60 FPS if you want to save more battery. Why do that? I don't know. But on the Samsung, you do have the adaptive option, but obviously just be aware that with the Samsung one, it's not an LTPO display. I believe it's an LTPS display. So it's adaptive, but it's not LTPO. So if you can see, it is adaptive, but it does go to standard if you want it to. You've got adaptive, which is between 48 hertz and 120 hertz, whereas this is using a LTPO display. So it's 120 hertz down to 10 hertz. And then when the always on display is engaged, it can go all the way down to 1 hertz. So that's the option. Really, really good in that retrospect. This display is excellent. The only thing I don't really like, obviously, is the peel at the top. The dynamic island. I personally think it should be called a virtual touch bar. So I will call it a virtual touch bar. And just visually speaking, it adds but also equally detracts away, considering Samsung has a small hole punch. Again, there's no biometric authentication, hardware level stuff there. Obviously, Samsung one is the in-display fingerprint scanner, which is something I prefer, right? So this is a much better use compared to the old static notch. So I appreciate the dynamic island or the virtual touch bar being more useful than the previous notch, but it almost adds and equally detracts away from an excellent visual presentation of a display, especially when you want to do things like gaming. So yeah, that's the display experience on here when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro. Let's check into the comments and see who has arrived. All right, let's see. Let's see who we got. Ben, I know you are primarily a Galaxy Watch user, kind of, bro. I'm not really even a Galaxy Watch user like that. Like, I'm a Galaxy Watch user when I have to be. Thank you, kind sir. Tastes better too. Would you ever consider trying an Apple Watch Ultra? I'm just, bro, I'll be honest with you, my brother. I'm just not really a watch person. Like, I'm not, I always say I'm fortunate enough with, especially the Galaxy smartwatches, that I get access to pretty much all of them year on year, right? It's been like that since the Galaxy Watch 4 and 3, but I'm just not a watch guy. Can I afford to get a Galaxy Watch Ultra and try it? Yeah, I can, but I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm just not really a watch guy too tough. That's just the honest truth. I'm just not really a watch guy. So it's not really about I'm Samsung over. I'm just not a watch guy, let alone a smartwatch guy. So when I'm using smartwatches for video and content, it's a stretch. I have to really force myself. That's just me personally. And I don't use iOS or iPhones as my main, daily phone, enough for me to justify having an Apple Watch. That's just me personally. Apple Watches don't play nice with any other device. They play nice only with Apple devices. So I have no incentive and I have no curiosity, When it comes to, I live vicariously through Fresh, and Fresh knows it. He's my Apple Watch guy. Apple Watch Ultra guy specifically. I just live vicariously through him. I have minimal interest in smartwatches, but I kind of have to cover them because of Sam Mobile. Inherently, that means I end up doing it for my channel as well. But really, I'm more. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Sorry to be a downer. Crazy impressive. Crazy impressive. Daniil, I always say Daniil is my iPhone 14 guy. He's my iPhone 14 plug. He's the one that saw that iPhone 14. This is your iPhone 14 that you saw that for me, mate. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Ben, and Late Night Squad. Sorry I'm a bit late tuning in, sending blessings. Did I miss out on much? Not yet. We've pretty much just gone through the design and the build quality experience and how I've been comparing it to the iPhone 14 Pro and the third S23, because I think these are the devices that people really want to see compared to within an iPhone 14 Pro and not the Pro Max, because we're working with the Pro at the minute. So you've not missed too much. We're just about to get into the camera experience and talk camera. Because I did a big one. A big one. Get an AP or Rolex. Nah, I'm good. I'm just not a watch guy. And a Rolex isn't going to make me a watch guy. Just get a Rolex. I know, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not a watch guy. I'm not a watch guy. I'm literally carrying my daughter's old 30 mini to keep running my Watch Ultra. Yeah, hey, kudos to anyone. I get an iPhone every year as a business expense. I'm just gonna be very straight up and honest with you guys. I get an iPhone every year, right, as a business expense, right? My iPhone 14 Pro versus Galaxy S23 Ultra this year, camera comparison, as a 24-minute video netted me more than 500,000 views. iPhones versus Samsung compared to when I did Samsung versus Samsung and Samsung versus Google Pixel, nothing came close to what the viewership and the interest was when it comes to Samsung versus Apple. It's just business, right? But I respect it because iPhones were actually my first proper smartphones I started using way before Android. So I have a closer love relationship than hate. I have a love and respect relationship for Apple iPhones in general, just because of what they did for me from when I got my first iPhone 2008 with the iPhone 3G when I got into university, getting an iPhone 4, getting an iPhone 5S, getting an iPhone 6S and 6S Plus. The 6S Plus is what started my YouTube channel. That was my YouTube camera that I started with because it was the first iPhone to shoot 4K video. The iPhone 6S and 6S Plus were the first iPhones to shoot 4K video. So that was the iPhone that started off my YouTube career. Trust me, I have a big affiliation with iPhones in general and how much they mean to me on a respect level, right? But I'm a Fold guy. I'm an Android guy. I'm probably the Samsung fanboy. I always play on it, right? But just because I'm a fan and I'm more of a drawn to a particular platform, anyone can get it. Samsung gets called out on my watch. Google gets called out on my watch. Apple gets called out on my watch too. And you'll think like with Google especially and Samsung, how they nice me, right? I'll be scared to say stuff. Bro, Fresh is my witness, man. I just say it. I still say it. I don't brand bash, but yo, I still say it. That's just me. iPhone 6S Plus is my 5. Yes, absolutely. I love that phone. All my early YouTube videos that you go watch in the past, all iPhone 6S Pluses. Nice little Easter egg. I didn't know you started your channel on. Yeah, bro. My Xperia X video, all iPhone 6S Plus. The iPhone 6s Plus, when I was working in telco, I think I was working in EE at the time. Yeah, I was in EE or I was working at Vodafone, one of the two. And I got it on my staff line next to, I think, the Galaxy S7 Edge at the time. That's what kickstarted my YouTube career, just because of the fact that it was a 4K shooting smartphone. And the iPhone's 4K just looked so much better compared to Samsung's 4K, because Samsung's first 4K phone was the Galaxy Note 3 in 2013. And as much as it was first, it did not look as good as the iPhone when it came to what Apple were doing with, what was the first 64-bit chip that they had in the 5S with the Touch ID, the A5? No, the A7. I think it was this A7 chip that was the first 64-bit dual-core processor. Matt, can you find out?
Check it now.
I think, if I remember that, yeah, you lot need to rate me, innit? I've got a mind of encyclopedia. A7, innit? Ha ha! Co-sign me. See, I remember stuff. 2013 A7 Bionic chip, first 64-bit dual-core chip. From there, whatever Apple were doing, they've been smoking on it, man. So yeah, I thought let me just drop that. Took you back a bit of memory lane. So anyone that tries to come at me like, oh, I'm not an iPhone guy, I don't know. Trust me, bro. I'm about iPhones, but I'm just in more of a respect level for iPhones and what they are, right? So if that goes around and comes around and asks you your question about why I don't use iPhones as my main phones, why I only test them and reference them, why I don't use an Apple Watch. First, I'm not a watch guy in general. I barely use the Galaxy Watch when I have to. And boy, best believe you're not going to catch me with an Apple Watch. There's no incentive. A7 on the 5S with Touch ID. Absolutely, 5S is one of my favorites, man. My definitive favorite iPhones, iPhone 4, iPhone 5S, iPhone 6S Plus, definitely. And I would say iPhone 15. I did not like the 12 because it didn't have a 120 hertz display. 13 Pro, I didn't mind. 14 Pro, meh. I would say, since the iPhone 6S Plus, this might definitively be my favorite iPhone since then. Yeah, especially with the switch to USB-C. The comfort of the phone. Oh, I might be onto something here. Putting an asterisk next to not trying the 15 Pro Max yet, I would say the iPhone 15 Pro is probably part of the definitive iPhones that I really enjoy, which is iPhone 4, 5S, 6S Plus. Since 6S Plus, I own the XS Max or 10S Max. Nah. I'm talking about favorite iPhones that really resonated with me. 11 Pro didn't. 12 Pro Max, Lord, I sold that. Got rid of that quick. 13 Pro, I didn't mind. I wouldn't say it was my favorite. 14 Pro, I've owned for the year. It's been all right. But this one, I would say, yeah, it's the first iPhone I've really come to enjoy and be impressed with so far. My New York Italian accent came in. Since then. And that's quite surprising. It's taken me that long? Yeah, it has. Because on the Android side, I got things that bend and move backwards and do bare stuff. So like, you know how it is. It's crazy. Let's see what the homie Fresh is saying. The 7 Plus Jet Black was goated for me. I didn't quite fancy the 7 Plus. Nah, not for me. And the thing is, I sold a lot of those Jet Blacks in store when I was working at Vodafone, I believe. Yeah, I think that era was Vodafone. That was my Vodafone era. That was what? iPhone 7? Jet Black would have been 2014. You can double check it if I got it right. Again, 2014 if I remember right. iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And that was the introduction of portrait mode because the 7 Plus had the dual cameras.
16.
7 Plus.
Yeah, 16.
Is it 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're right because 6S was 2015. 6, yeah. I got it wrong. Hey, allow me. So yeah. Okay, okay, fair play, fair play, fair play. Fair play. All right, people, let's load this bad boy up, man. We're gonna talk all things camera. We're gonna talk all things camera. We're gonna talk all new window. To the window, to the wild, to the wild, to the sweat drip. Ah, ski, ski, ski. Mm, 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 mm. Uh, 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 uh. Let's transition over and let's studio mode stop. Okay. 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 Okay, 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 okay. Man, YouTube is really not treating me nice. Y'all, please go watch the updated videos. I beg. Now I'm begging you lot, man. Do you know how much effort I put into this unboxing in comparison? I put everything into that, man. YouTube doesn't even want to give me 1,000 views. Yo, probably not even push the notifications. But let's talk about camera. Camera is going to be the next thing that we're really going to throw down when it comes to all things related to the iPhone 15 Pro, right? iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah, I think this is probably one of my favorite iPhones since then. I'll be honest with you, I'm really liking this. And I was probably going to get this. I've got 2 weeks to return the 15 Pro. I'm probably going to bite the bullet and just keep it alongside the 15 Pro Max. Not going to lie. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually really enjoying the feel of this phone a lot more than I want to admit. And I like these live streams because I think these epiphanies and raw emotion and connection with tech just comes. And I really get to express. I remember how I was feeling about the Pixel Fold. You know, it really just hit me that, yo, this ain't it. But this, I don't want to admit this, but this iPhone 15 Pro is probably my favorite iPhone definitively since the iPhone 6s Plus. And mind you, I owned the iPhone 10s Max. I owned it. I had that phone. I owned it. Did a review. Did camera comparison. Like I did everything with that phone on the channel as well. Skipped the 11 Pro. Wasn't feeling it. Got the 12 Pro Max. Got to try out the 12 Pro, the 12 and the 12 Mini. Loved the 12 Mini. I would say the 12, yeah, I would say definitively 12 minis up there, 30 minis up there, 12 minis up there as well. I would say from then will be the 12 mini and this. Wow, that's hella strange. That's hella strange. But in the meantime, I see you, KJ operating system in the house. What's good, KJ? KJ is killing it. YouTube algorithm has been treating my brother well. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna do more bookmarks. So more timestamps. I'm gonna do more timestamps for this one, right? um, so on the far right is the iPhone 14 Pro, and then we've got the iPhone 15 Pro and the S23. I would say, you know what? Apple have improved this camera in a way where it's not outright specs, but it's the usability quirks that I look for in a camera system on a smartphone that they've really tackled, almost to the point where I feel like I'm one of the only people that calls it out, and they've listened to improve, right? And I will give you a little bit of a story time and context on it, but if there is a favor that I can ask you lot to do, man, jump on it. This ultimate camera comparison is my second longest camera comparison, but I would say it's probably my most in-depth camera comparison. It is exactly 30 minutes long, 30 long. Obviously, there's a sponsor placement in there as well. So shout out to How and Samsung US for sponsoring this video, a portion of it, with specifically get the Galaxy S6, the Galaxy Watch 6, right? All my opinions on the S23 as well as all the other devices are still my own. It's just that sponsor placement for the watch. So don't you lot think Samsung paid, because I went hard on the S23 and called out any BS that it wasn't having. And where Apple was whooping, I said it. So I'm built different like that. So anyone that tries to call me like paid by Samsung, yeah, I am. But just on the Watch 6, blood, not on the phone. But yeah, this is the Galaxy S23 versus iPhone 15 Pro versus the 14 Pro. 15 Pro in the middle, 14 Pro on the right, S23. iPhones still have this problem where, I don't know if people notice it, but iPhones have this problem where when you're shooting in 4K 60, right? On the selfie specifically, dynamic range just goes out the window. Just lots of yellowing and blown highlights, right? But these phones, pound for pound, really hold up. But when you switch to 4K 30, this issue's not there. Look, I'm gonna run the same sequence. Do you see? Do you see how you can see the sky now? You see how you can see the sky now? In 4K 30, the dynamic range comes back. This has been a lifelong known issue on iPhones for days. For days. For days. Right? I love the fact that I've got fiber. The fact that I'm streaming in full 4K and buffering this video in full 4K. I'm living that life. We're keeping it a bit more chill tonight. So we're just running through the sequence of how the camera experience is, right? So this is the video portrait mode. So all of them shoot in 4K now. Obviously, this was the case with the 14 Pro. This is the case with the upgrade of the S23. This is the case with the 15 Pro Max as well. The portrait mode on the 15 Pro Max when it comes to video, especially for the rear camera, is really, really good. With odd quirks, which we'll get into, right? So this is just me going through the sequencing. Obviously, one thing that I love that they've improved is the usability of the rear camera in 4K 60. Obviously, Samsung still has the most flexible flexible camera experience. And obviously, you've got the 8K video recording. Now, 4K 60, man, Apple, like, you lot went in. Look at that. While you're recording on the same clip, you can switch between the lenses. This is a big deal. Now, you still can't do what Samsung and Google allow you to do, where you can pause that video clip and continue recording and switch between the lenses, right? Samsung still allows you to flip to the selfie camera and then go back to the 4K 60 lens that you were recording on, right? But the fact that Apple allow you to switch between the ultra wide, it's pretty phenomenal. It's on par with what Google do now. So this is me showing it with me in the frame as the subject. This is 4K 60 with me in the frame as the subject, right? Because we've started on a 1x lens on a 14 Pro and a S23 on the left and the right with the iPhone 15 Pro in the middle, right? We can't switch between the lenses. This only allows you to do that in 4K 30. But while you're recording on the same clip, like I'm saying on a 15 Pro, you see, it allows you to switch to the ultra wide. You can then go to the 1x, and then you can go to the 2x and the 3x without having to stop recording and switch lens and start again. This is such an annoying thing when you're recording 4K 60 on these camera systems that Apple fixed it. All they need to do is just implement the ability to pause recording, continue on the same video clip, and switch to the selfie, right? So I've got to give it to Apple. And one thing I have noticed this, I don't know if other people have noticed this, but Apple's 3x zoom zooms in slightly further than the 3x zoom on the other two, and comparing it to the 3x zoom on the iPhone 14 Pro, it does zoom in further, right? Another thing I really wanted to challenge Apple on was this whole, it gives you 3 different focal lengths thing, right? Here's the thing. You go into the camera settings, and this is the option that they give you. You go to formats. Obviously, you can shoot in 24 megapixels now, and then 12 megapixels if you want to change it to, but 12 megapixels is definitely the one that shoots in low light, obviously most compatible or high efficiency video codec. You get 48 megapixel JPEG Max, which is something you get on the iPhone 14 Pro as well. So it's an iOS 17 feature. ProRes with log. I showcased it in the unboxing as well, which is amazing. Where is the preserve settings? I'm trying to find where it is. Is it photographic styles? No, which we'll talk about that as well. Additional lenses. Apple, these are not additional lenses. Here's the thing where I don't want to call it an absolute gimmick, but it's halfway there. Let me say why it's halfway there. Anyone that's in here that understands camera lenses and how they behave in terms of distortion, perspective, and compression, bro, it's a 24mm lens. Apple, what you're doing is you're cropping into 28mm f1 1.2x. It's how they've marketed it is wrong, right? It's a 1.2x crop with oversampling and still maintaining 24 megapixels. It's a 1.5x crop, oversampling and still maintaining the 24 megapixel quality, right? And then you can do the 2x center crop where it's 12 megapixels to give you optical lossless zoom, and then you switch to the 3x dedicated or the 5x dedicated, okay? It's not a 28mm lens. It doesn't somehow change the 24mm to a 28mm or 35mm lens. It's to do with focal length, distortion, distance, and compression, right? So I just don't, 7 additional lenses, macro, ultra wide, 24, 28, 35, 3x. Nah, 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 nah. So it's kind of a halfway gimmick in my opinion, but in terms of the image quality, see it more as a crop factor. See? 1.2. That's the real representation. The whole 28mm, 35mm. I'm sorry. Nah. So, back to Chrome. iPhone's image processing in the high resolution pixel mode is really, really good. I've got to give them that. It's done really nice. And the fact that they've been able to take 24 megapixel images is really good as well without delay. Problem that we have with iPhones is the minimum focusing on the main camera lens is very, very poor. It's very poor. Apple need to sort, I don't know why it's that bad. To the point where you do need, macro mode is very critical. I'll be honest with you, I've got to give it to Samsung. The minimum focusing on their main 50 megapixel sensor is really good to the point where look how close I was able to get and create a natural background blur effect. The S23 lacks macro mode. Macro mode is only on the Ultra, right? But if you see how far the distance is on an iPhone, it's not that far off when it's in macro mode. I mean, it's far, as in the macro mode on the iPhone 14 Pro and the 15 Pro allow you to get a lot closer. But all things considered, for how close you can get on the main camera lens on the S23, yeah, it's up there. Now, KJ, it's weird, right? I have this theory. That for the darker skin persuasion squad like me, KJ, Fresh, and us, man, especially me and KJ, we're darkies. We're darkies like that, you understand? I feel like what we have to do is go in and change the photographic style. I might do a special video where I go through which photographic style works best for black people. I might do that because the standard iPhone profile is good. It's not, Pixel gets it right. Pixel gets it hella right. But I just feel like it's two things. Apple really does a great job with the color accuracy of objects like my jacket, jeans, and scenery. But then it just slightly overcooks the skin and just makes me a bit too dark. Look at my shade now in this. This is with correct white balancing, S cine tone from the A7S3. This is as color accurate to what my skin representation is. So this is where, although the scene in the S23 is slightly, you know, on the orange or reddish side, like what you were saying, KJ, me personally, I prefer it as the lesser of the two evils if I don't have a Pixel. But I feel like with the iPhone, oh no, yeah, I feel like with the iPhone, maybe, just maybe, for us darker skin persuasion people, we might have to try different photographic style to see which one rocks of our skin tone best. Because the photographic style, this is something that was introduced from the iPhone 13 Pro series. And I'm there thinking that maybe the standard just doesn't rock. Maybe the standard just doesn't rock. Pixel's got us though. Fresh, you're not lying. Pixel's got us, but I think I might make a video. I think I might make a video on that. That might be an interesting experiment. All in all, to say the camera, I will say I'm impressed. The stability in action mode has improved slightly enough where you notice it, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, it shoots it in 2.8K at 60 FPS. You can do it on all lenses, ultra wide 1x, 2 and 3, or ultra wide 1x and 3, right? Macro mode works in 4K 60 as well, which, as you can see, it keeps flagging up here. And just to show you that this is something that you don't get on the iPhone 14 Pro. So, yeah. So you can see it doesn't give you the macro option, whereas here you get the macro option, right? So macro now works on a video in 4K 60, whereas it doesn't on here. Just putting it out there. So that's another great addition. The ability to switch between the lenses in 4K 60, absolutely love that. But I just hope Apple, if you're listening, which I doubt you're going to be listening to someone like me, allow us to pause the video and continue on the same clip, and allow us to flip to the selfie camera. It's got more than enough power. Heck, you allow me to, you know, record in ProRes. You allow me to record in ProRes internally and in SDR, HDR, and log. And I can do it externally to your USB-C port. 10 gigabits per second. And apparently Samsung has 5 gigabits per second. So credit to them being late to the party. I hate to see when they actually integrate a Thunderbolt controller in here and you're getting USB 4 speeds with Thunderbolt 3 speeds up to 40 gigabits per second. That's game. So camera, highly recommend you watch the full ultimate camera comparison to get full context of everything, man. I'm gonna put more bookmarks in there, but yo, get your drinks, get your popcorn, get your meal. Yo, half an hour. Your boy had to do an all-nighter. Because obviously I had to do the same. I'm missing out the sponsor. Do you know how nice it is to get a sponsor in the most difficult organic video that I make on a regular basis? Man, perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. So I had to double down and do that, man. So yeah, please go watch it. Show love to it, man. Push it in the algorithm. Let's get it up there. I know it's not the Pro Max, but again, we're working it back. We're double backing. Hopefully we should be seeing an iPhone. We should be seeing a Pixel 8 Pro, S23 Ultra, and iPhone 15 Pro Max three-way camera comparison. Man, who's telling me to do these three-way camera comparisons all of a sudden? But hey, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. There's no point in doing absolutely what everyone else is doing. We've got to try and trick the system somehow and make it work. Or make it clap. Yeah. Busta Rhymes, Shonda Paul. Let's go. So we've gone through the camera as quickly as possible. I've given my verdict in 2 cents, but please, go watch the camera comparison. Just zone out 4K 60, put headphones on, put it on your laptop display, put it on your TV, listen out, and really enjoy it and take it in, man. That's like, you know, I put my heart and soul into that one, man. So go and enjoy it. I sold a ton of the jet black iPhones in Verizon. So did I, bro. It just didn't. My class of favorite iPhones, like I always say, it wasn't even a 3G, which was my first one. It was the iPhone 4, 5S, 6S Plus, 12 mini, 12 mini slash 13 mini. Yeah, 12 mini slash 13 mini. And then so far the iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah, 12 Pro series. Oh no. 13 Pro, yeah, but 13 mini and 12 mini, yeah. Definitely. And all the reviews that I did really resonate with that. They're all there on my catalog and library. So definitely go watch that if you needed any reassurance on where I'm coming from. And I'll be honest with you, this iPhone 15 Pro was meant to be low-key a touch and go. I don't think I can let it go. I really like it. Confessions of an Android boy. Confessions of a Samsung fanboy. He actually likes the iPhone 15 Pro way more than the fibers of his bones and everything would care to admit, because if he gets found out, he's done. We're having fun tonight with your special edition Tech and Chill show Unplugged. Ahsoka's going to be live in 20 minutes, but we're going to ride it out as we go through and pretty much talk about all things related to the iPhone 15 Pro. Let's see. Mine was the 4S, iOS 9 current day. 5S, 6S, 11 Pro, 13 Pro. Current one is silver. I'll miss the stainless steel. Interesting. I did not like the stainless steel at all. It's interesting. It's very interesting to hear. It's very, very interesting to hear. KJ Coinsola was good, bro. That's good. KJOS. I didn't get to come to Toronto, man. I hope you had a good birthday, my bro. And congrats, man. Congrats on just everything. Birthday, settling into Canada, getting into your stride. I know last time when we met, you were really talking about it when you came from Nigeria and stuff. So well done, bro. Killing it, killing it. Consistency. Instagram's popping off. YouTube is popping off. I love it. I love it. Marketing caters to the average user. Imagine explaining compression, perspective, crop models to someone that isn't on this live stream. Yeah, but then they've marketed it wrong. How would an average consumer understand what 24 millimeter, 28 millimeter, and 35 millimeter? Would an average consumer understand 0.5x, 1x, 1.2, 1.5? Why have they marketed it as focal lengths? And I get it, it's a pro device. So for people like me, right, cool, we understand it. But bro, this marketing doesn't actually cater to the average consumer. It just doesn't. It doesn't. If it did, you would actually put the normal numbers where it's at 1.1x, 1.2x, 1.5x and stuff. Because that one says 2, that one says 5, that one says this. They've understood that a lot more than millimeters. You're introducing focal lengths. I think Apple marketed it wrong. They were just doing the most. They wanted to lean into it, be more of a pro device, but I'm thinking us pros really know that, yes, as much as you don't lose the image quality because it is doing some form of pixel binning merged with a 48 and a 12 megapixel image to produce a 24 megapixel image, oversampling and super sampling, or whatever they want to use of it to output and still maintain a 24 megapixel sense final JPEG output. But don't label it as it's new lenses, additional lenses. It's not, bruh. The 3X is an additional lens. The 5X is an additional lens. The 0.5X ultra-wide, those are additional lenses. Not you cropping in the center and making it seem like it's additional lenses when you're not getting the distortion focal length as well as the compression that negates with it. I said a lot, I know, but I like to do that. I get to be off script when it comes to Tech and Chill. Sue me! And I act to fall on these streams too fast. Oh, you just got doing the crib. What you gonna do? Act to fool. Pixel gets us. It just, bro, it just does. Everything that jars me about Google, yeah. Whenever I slap, but it's been like that since Pixel 2 days. Don't you think so, brother? Listen, When Google hits you on the skin tones of us, man, yeah, perfect, perfect, uncooked, just right, ripe, and perfect. That's half an episode of Top Boy. Let's go. Well, you watch Top Boy. Yeah, Top Boy is global now. Low key though, it is global. It is global. Top Boy, man, it is global. It's global. My wife's getting the 8 Pro the second it hits the Soul stores. Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. I was worried about the Pixel 8 series in general because I remember young Matty Cobbs did ask me, and I'm like, I'm worried just because of just everything that's happened with the Pixel 7 series, everything that's happened with my Pixel Fold experience. I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, I have hope again. With all the leaks, I have hope again. I have hope again, you know. So I don't want to spread wildfire, but let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. Confessions of an Android. Bro, come on, man. I was in my element there. I was in my element. You know how it is. I was in my element there. Hi, kick rocks, eat dust. Sometimes, yeah, I swear, I have to learn to read people's comments and names in my head first, out loud in my head before I say it, because I'm going to get in trouble. Remember, who's seen that Instagram meme of the old man that said, would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? And it's like, ah. Ah, they got the old man. They got him. Apologies and no apologies for people that are joining in. Just hear me act of all. I like to go off script when it comes to Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. And pretty much we're going to be talking about all things related to the iPhone 15 Pro. Zach Talks Tech in the house. What's going on in here? As we are streaming this live in crispy 4K ultra high definition. And again, oh, this ZVE one is actually a pagan. Matt, do we anyway, let's see. Careful talking about it on all these nets. I literally just joined and he said he told me to kick rocks. No, it wasn't you, it was the name. Sold my Pixel 7 Pro and buy the iPhone 15 Pro. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird realization to realize this is my favorite iPhone since the 12 mini, 13 mini, since the iPhone 6s Plus, since the 5s, since the 4, the iPhone 15 Pro. Would it be the iPhone 15 Pro Max as well? But I feel like it might just be the iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah, yeah. Cool. I'm watching on my Pixel 6a right now. Right about now. The Pixel 6 is head about now. I'm doing remixes. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good?
And it's Phantom as well.
Perfect. 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 All right. Okay. 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 Let's do Geekbench. Here's where we have it. Happy to see that now we are on the Specs and Performance Geekbench 5. I think there's Geekbench 6 now, isn't it? iPhone 15 Pro running iOS 17.0.2. It's now got the 6-core 3nm Generation 1 TSMC process. 8 gigabytes of RAM, just like on your Android phones, people. 8 gigabytes of RAM, just like on your Android phones, people. Right? We love to see it. Well done, Apple. although you don't really allow us to use multitasking, true multitasking with split screen and stuff anyway, I appreciate more RAM. It makes it better value, better longevity, right? If we do CPU, let's run a benchmark. And let me see if I've got Geekbench on the iPhone 14 Pro as well, which I should. As you can see, that is working with 6 gigabytes of RAM, A16 Bionic. This is what's obviously in the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. Let's run a benchmark. Eye Kojo and Abra. And let's see if I've got Geekbench 6. Geekbench 5. Nah, they don't have 5. Install. Okay, I'm a interesting. Okay, Geekbench 5 is not available on Android anymore by the looks of it. Okay, let me accept. We're gonna have to switch to, so I'm gonna run benchmark Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 as we're seeing on the Galaxy S23, Android 13, of course, with 14 beta on there coming out soon. These are the cluster build up in a triple cluster prime core, which is overclocked to 3.36 gigahertz. It's an octa-core based design instead of a hexa-core based design on the iPhones. This is Geekbench 5, but we're going to look for Geekbench 6 and see what's good. Interesting. This is what we're getting on the iPhone. This is what we're getting on the iPhone 15 Pro. Isn't that kind of low? Okay, let me run benchmark. And we're going to get... what was that? Okay. We're going to get Geekbench 6 running on here. Okay, interesting. So this is Geekbench 5, but I think Geekbench 5 is something I already had on that sense already. But again, take a quick snapshot to see. Let's look for Geekbench 6. We're going to get it. Let's bring Geekbench 6 up. Man, I heard the pagans in the end, yeah. Geekbench 6. Ahsoka's live in 10 minutes, but don't worry, I'm not going to rush away. It's a special Tech and Chill show unplugged, so we're here an hour and a half deep in. We're good. We're going through the motion, then we'll get to the battery. We're just doing benchmarks right now. And these recordings kind of help with using it for my review as well. Open. All right. Don't know why it calls it the iPhone 16-1 though, which is kind of weird, right? But here's where we are in terms of the same specifications that we're rocking with. Oh, stop with the nearby airdrop nonsense. It's enough. Just chill, relax. It's flipping like it's getting so horny, just getting close to another iPhone. Relax, man. Let's run the CPU benchmark. We're going to run the benchmark. Here and kind of see what we're working with across the board. Because what you do have to remember is whatever performance lead Apple has now, right? Qualcomm are coming for them, especially on the GPU side. The 8 Gen 3 is literally going to be announced in November. Samsung are going to bring out the Galaxy S24 series in January this time. Why? Because you have to remember that the Galaxy S23 series got announced 1st of February. 1st of February. I was in San Francisco for that, man. End of January, just after I did my trip in Vegas at the beginning of January. They're going to bring it a week or two earlier. The S24 series is going to be a January flagship release. Just putting it out there. It's going to be a January flagship release. So whatever Qualcomm are bringing in terms of the heat, they're going to be on a 3nm process as well with TSMC. Obviously, Apple bought out all the chips for this year, but next year it's on. So yeah, like however close you see the 8 Gen 2 compared to what Apple have. Again, these are synthetic benchmarks. We know Geekbench is kind of like a reference piece and whatnot, but yo, it's problematic. It's hella problematic. It's hella problematic. It's going to be a very interesting one to see how that looks like. But I appreciate everyone that's been here and tuned in and locked in. You lot, the live squad, the real tech lover squad, aka Team TLS. I promise I'm gonna make some merch that really just, signifies something that you can keep that lets you know that you are part of Team TLS. I will do a limited run. I want to get some high quality merch in limited run, man. Limited run. But yes, we are running these benchmarks from the top live. That's what we do, baby. Live Tech and Chill Show Unplugged special edition into the cut down. It's what we do. It's what we do. So we're pretty much just seeing how the CPU performance is across both devices and just rocking it there. Are we gonna get some overheating? Who knows? Let me feel it. No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I mean, the iPhone 14 Pro is a little bit cooler, but I wouldn't say this is hot. I wouldn't even say this is warm. I'm not saying people are capping. I'm just putting it out there like, the heat issues, and we were out yesterday really pushing the cameras, and it wasn't a hot summer's day, but the weather was nice. The weather was nice. We didn't run into any issues. Matt, did you run into any issues?
With
Overheating.
no.
See? I had a witness there. So this is not, I tell you lot for free, I'm not an Apple defender. Generally, we've not experienced that issue, right? We haven't. That overheating thing has been all day on the Pixel though. Just saying. But on iPhone, it's been blessed for me so far. Just putting it out there. But that's not to co-sign any other people's experience. If they've been having that issue, they've been having that issue. So you got to respect it. It might be defective. It's a tough one to call. 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 But we'll do some gaming. Okay, so this is what we've got with Geekbench 6 with the Galaxy S23. Right? Taylor Bell, yo, what's good? Are benchmarks really that useful for smartphones? No, they're synthetic. They're synthetic. It's just reference points. It's just reference points. It's the same as obviously measuring GPUs, theoretical power in teraflops. It's just an almost meaningless metric, but almost, we still do it as reference points. We still do it as reference points, but again, let's see what we end up with on the iPhone 15 Pro compared to the 14 Pro when it comes to Geekbench 6. Woo! Yo, 2,867 single core. Damn. Whoa. Jeez, that's an extra 900 points. Damn. I wasn't expecting that. Even a multi-core, that's like an extra 2 Gs. Sheesh. Okay. All right. All right, Apple. All right. Okay. Sheesh. Let that simmer. Let that simmer. Damn. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. They get a bit warm though. The cheek test. Cheeky. Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know. I just hope I don't suffer no overheating issues, man. But it's been blessed for me. It's been blessed, so I can't complain. Asphalt, you know how it is, traditional asphalt. Again, I'm the peasant. We ain't getting no Resident Evil copy in here. Obviously, the main benefit of the A17 Pro is the fact that you do have the hardware-based ray tracing that's in there as well. Man, I don't want me to put my age. Why do you want to know how old I am? Don't track nothing except in play. Let's see. Play. All right, let's I'm gonna turn it down because I don't want to get any copyright strike. Apologies, but we'll test the speaker after. I'll take it off video broadcast. So yeah, the Vuelto. The Vuelto. Okay, touch and hold to drift. So I'm gonna pause it for a minute. I'm gonna take off the microphone and just put it on HDMI Camlink 2. Hello, 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 hello. So you should hear a bit more of like the noise and stuff. Game menu. Resume. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. We're swiping. So we're just gonna game for a little while just to see how it holds up when it comes to the feeling of heat, I guess. Again, we're starting this game afresh. We're gonna go up the ramp. We're gonna boost. Go up the ramp. Boost. Woo! Interesting. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, just so on the second one that you can see me playing it in that sense. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Okay, next. Unlock car. Skip. Next. Come out. I still never know like how to really play this game in that retrospect. Cogwheel. Game settings. Sound and display. Let's go back. Tutorials, controls, game loft, game info. Controls, what do we want? We want touch drive, of course. Yep, next. Okay. Controls, display, sound effects display. 60 FPS. Join the club. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna go out. We're gonna play. Again, just to avoid me getting any form of copyright. I don't know, I've just turned the music down, but I'm gonna obviously change it. So let's just game for a little bit longer. So we're gonna go next. And then next we're gonna play, touch drive on, and cheek test. It's I don't know, it feels fine to me. It feels fine to me. I don't know. I know iPhone though, Farouk was saying something about Instagram not being friendly, and it just really does a number on just overheating the phone for some reason. And I think that's an iOS 17 issue. Apparently, jeez. All right, I'm feeling this. Interesting. Ooh. Boost. Crazy. Let's switch to the top down. Okay. We'll do 2 more rounds. I don't, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It still feels comfortable to hold. I'm using it without a case. We're playing Asphalt. You know, however graphically demanding you think this game is or not, I mean, it's entirely subjective. I'm not really a mobile phone gamer in that sense, but I like Asphalt because obviously it's easy to get into, it's easy to play. I like cars, so I mean, yeah, just, you know. Okay, let's go here. Let's play again with the Mitsubishi Evolution. Mitsubishi Evo. Okay, here we go. Yeah. And then I've got boost. And I've got boost. Tear them in a new one. Damn. Damn. Damn, it's cooking. Interesting. There we go. So yeah, I'm not suffering from overheating. I'm not suffering from overheating. And the performance, I've showcased it live. I've done my cheat test, which is my thermometer. Nah, the performance has literally been smooth, honestly. And I notice it a lot more when it comes to the camera UI. This has got to be just the smoothest camera UI interface I've used. Look, it's just butter. No hiccups, nowhere. No hiccups, nowhere. This finished, like this camera UI is slick ASF. And if I compare it to the iPhone 14 Pro, I mean, it wasn't slow, but you see, look, it's not hesitation, but it's just, it's fast, but like, yo, this one here, it just like, just bang, 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 slick. It's just slick. So, I don't know, man. I can only speak for myself, but this 15 Pro, when it comes to, you know, performance management and everything, it's been really good. It's been really good. Right, let's jump into the comments and see what's up. I see. Stick the fan on the ZVE1 and it behaves, man. it's not off. Check it out now. Funk Soul Brothers, you know it. I have a question for the S23 series. Does the S23 Plus triple camera have a better image processing compared to the base S23 with the image? No, it's the same camera, bro. It's the same. Are benchmarks really that useful? Like I said, more reference points, but obviously real world gameplay, like what we're using and stuff. Yeah. Pixel looks so clean. It does. It does. It does. It does. iPhone 16 means it's an iPhone 15 Pro. The number after this Atmosphere donates with the 15 Pro is interesting. I'd love some merch. You know what? I really need to. I've been in it decent amount of time enough here. I need to honor you lot as Team TLS, the Tech Love Squad, with some merch. Yo. Literally just saw the overheating reports on Reddit, and I believe it. I'm just saying what I experienced for overheating on the Pixel devices, the overheating on here, this to me is not overheating, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Opinion, not fact, humble opinion. iPhone 15 Pro Max is overheating? Not for me. Pro has been fine. So, we've pretty much rallied up and pretty much gone through and showcased everything we need to. What's my build quality and design experience, especially as a standalone device, and comparing it to these bad boys here, the iPhone 14 Pro as well as the Galaxy S23. Talked about the display experience, the good, I wouldn't say there's any bad, but it's just the good and the in-between and the kind of compared it to both the S23 and the 14 Pro, looked at it as a standalone, did brightness tests like 1800 nits in HDR, crazy. The 2000 nits outdoor brightness, crazy. We talked about the camera experience, so I went as in-depth as possible, so I definitely recommend go watch my ultimate camera comparison. And we just went through the specs of the performance, did some benchmarks with Geekbench, did some real-world gaming. Yeah, last is the battery life. And if I go through what I've been experiencing with the battery, again, as stated, I've only had this from Sunday, hence why this is a 72 hours later review, right? Not a full review, but it's my initial review 72 hours later. It's tradition. It's something I love to do, especially by then, once I've done a camera comparison, I'm confident enough to give you my 2 cents when it comes to how the device behaves and stuff, right? We go to battery and charging. We've got it on optimized charging, as we do. There's an 80% limit version now option that is there, which is really great to see. So like the protect battery feature that you get on Samsung, which is 85%. Battery health is 100% capacity, as I would expect it to. Last 5 days, again, you're only seeing the metric from Sunday, because I've only been using it since Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, technically we are in Wednesday in the UK. Ahsoka's live. Here's where we have it here. On a Sunday, screen on time, right? Just under five and a half hours. Idle time is an hour and a half. As you can see, caning the camera. So I feel like the camera with ProRes recording, the amount of video recording that we're doing, we've really pushed this iPhone 15. That and Instagram, well, I'm always on Instagram. You can see it right there next to YouTube, background activity and stuff. This is what we're getting. Now, the next day, which was Monday, right? We ended up getting 4.5 hours of screen on time. Again, Monday's when we're really pushing it, doing a camera comparison, and it was really, we were really pushing it. You watch my in-depth camera comparison there, it was a sunny to warm day. We were really pushing it. I did not have any overheating issues, which I'm grateful for. I just hasn't, and we had less idle time, right? We really pushed this. We really pushed this. This was really pushed yesterday. Obviously today we've had a lighter day. We've not opened the camera. We've not touched the camera at all. It's a lighter day. And when we start the stream, from when it was charged up, when we started the stream today, the stream, we were on about 76% battery. So it gives context and retrospect, and this is where we are right now. This is the battery. Now, again, we still have 20 watt wired charging, and obviously we've got a MagSafe 15 and so many other stuff, but we didn't get the 35 watts that the claimed leakers were saying. This is the thing, man. Always manage your expectations when it comes to leaks and rumors. They were saying a 6x zoom lens, ended up being a 5x. Lord have mercy. So that's been my battery life experience on iPhone 15 Pro. So far, so good. I think definitively by a week, I will have a better idea. But battery has been good. Battery has actually been good. Good to okay, I would say. Good to okay. Charging it's an absolute myth. 20 watts ain't cutting it. 45 watts is where we need to be at. 65 watts is where you want to be at, right? Need, and then 65 watts is where we want. And the overall experience of iOS, I'll be honest with you, iOS is the same cake. I don't even, tell me what's new with iOS 17. I don't even know. Like, you know, the snitch drop feature, the same name drop, the snitch drop feature. Ooh, ooh, vibrate. How exciting. Anyway, yeah, it's iOS 17. It's iOS at the end of the day. You know, I'm the Android guy that prefers using the Android features, especially when it comes to multitasking and true multitasking with split screen. And people that say it's not useful, that's on you. But it's useful to me. I use it all the time, especially when on my foldable. So, speakers. Let me bring up a track that I like. For everyone that's been noticing the music that I use in my videos, I appreciate you. I appreciate you because it means a lot, because I take great pride in making sure. All right, let's load up speakers. Let's test speakers, might as well. File play. I wanted to test that I know. But that's not on YouTube. Dolby Atmos. Let's turn on Dolby Atmos Auto. All right, let's test the speakers. Not a completely scientific test. Just remember my microphone is right there. I'm just gonna leave it here for a bit. It's pretty much gonna be the last test that we're wrapping up. Q&A. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark, and then we're done. Okay, let's run it on the iPhone. Let's see. Oh, this track is cold as well. Man, we might have to use this track again. Hey. Okay, so let's try the Galaxy S23 with Dolby Atmos on. Yeah, you feel it. Atmos makes a difference. I mean, these speakers are on par, neck to neck. Ooh, got Yeah, so that is pretty much it right now. That is it pretty much right now. What's my initial verdict? I think, I hate to admit this, but I think this iPhone 15 Pro specifically, I don't know about the 15 Pro Max, that deserves its own treatment, but I think this iPhone 15 Pro might be one of my favorite iPhones added to the list next to the iPhone 4, iPhone 5S, iPhone 6S, and 6S Plus. I would say 6S Plus more. 12 mini, 13 mini, 15 Pro. Yeah, wow. This is Apple at their best. Does it mean this is I think it holds even true against the S23. So again, remember, at the base 128 gig storage, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage on both. This is £849 in the UK, and this is £999. There's a £150 difference, right? And it's neck for neck. LTP 120 hertz, adaptive LTPS 48 hertz to 120. This is 10 hertz to 120 or down to 1 hertz with the always on display. A slightly higher than 1080p resolution on here. A much, I wouldn't say, but it's a brighter display, but I don't want to say much brighter. It's a brighter display. Triple cameras on both, which I've tested for you to go check out to see which one you definitively want. Much improved, better video overall, but I will say that because you've got usable 4K video where you're able to switch between all the lenses to the selfie, pause recording, take pictures and do all of that stuff, and usable 8K video, this is no slouch as well in its own right, but Apple really done a good job when it comes to collectively what you can do here with video. I like the iPhone 15 Pro. And if you're coming from anything like the 12 Pro, 11 Pro, 10S, and 10, and you don't want to switch to Android, which I get, the 15 Pro is going to do good for you. 15 Pro specifically, in my opinion. Wow. Okay. That's my definitive conclusion after 3 days, 72 hours later, with the iPhone 15 Pro. All right, let's switch it up. Class is dismissed. Class is dismissed. This is my Snyder Cut edition of my 72 hours later, 3 days later review. What's your daily driver? Oh God, I don't like that term. What's your daily phone? The daily phone is the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Pixel Fold. Again, always run two phones, personal number, business number. Always have two separate numbers when you are running a business line, personal line. Those are my two daily phones. I always have to have a normal phone and a slab foldable. It was a long stream. I fell asleep. Oh, sorry if I was boring you. Dio, what's good? Dio, do you get annoyed when Americans call you Dio? Or do you have to always correct them and tell them that your name is Dio? What's good, man? I wanted to stop by and say hi. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Congrats on hitting 70K subs, I believe. I just hit 35K subs today. YouTube threw me a little bone for how hard I put in the work, man. YouTube don't like me that deep, but I'm stubborn. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still staying. Coming with my Wolf of Wall Street energy. You dumb. Anyway, man, I appreciate you, Dio. Hope you're well. Appreciate you coming through. Do you like any of the iPhone SEs? What? iPhone SE? Bruh, let's not talk about iPhone SE. That home button thing. Allow it. All right, Q&A, man. Q&A. If you have any questions, ask me any questions while we're wrapping up shop. And it's been a good one with the iPhone 15 Pro in the white titanium. I've got the 512 gigabyte model. Yeah. Interesting. And she said, take me now. I gotta correct them. Let's go for your 35K. Yeah, no, I hit 35K today. I hit 35. I hit 35k subs just before the stream started. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. We move, we work. We move, we work. We move, we work. So let me just do a definitive roundup again. Content roundup for the month. Definitely. We've been hitting it. This was when I thought it was going to be called the iPhone 15 Ultra. Yeah, so ignore it. Ignore it. I'm really happy with how this one came out. My review of the Asus ZenBook S13 OLED, I'm really happy with how that came out for some reason. And that's kind of like meant to be like almost a throwaway video, but yeah, the production on it, really nice. The vibe, really enjoyed it. So yeah, content for the month, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos right now. We're on 8 videos. And today's one is a behemoth. Today's one is a behemoth. Ultimate camera comparison as we've gone through. This is the one I really want you guys to show love for. Check the links in the description below. Check the full description as well. Yeah, three-way camera comparison. Definitely go check this one. This one is a mammoth 30 minutes. Get your popcorn, get your drink, get in and do what you need to do and enjoy it, man. But yeah, that is definitively us. What else we got? Hey Ben, I have an iPhone SE second generation, but I got it stolen and forgot the password. And I also forgot iCloud. Is there anywhere I can still open? You might have to speak to the guys at Apple for that. I'm not even too sure. Translation for this one, anyone? Translation for this one, anyone? Semi done talking. Semi girls can come barking, yeah. Yeah, me done talking. Semi girls then done barking, yeah. I answered that question already. The Taylor Bell, the S23 is horrible. Nope. Go and watch the camera comparison, man. Let me know your thoughts. Engage with it in the comment section below. iCloud is locked down. Yeah, I thought as much. People, definitively, thank you so much. Appreciate you tuning in for this special Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. I'm off for the night. I'm going to watch Ahsoka. Got an early night for an event tomorrow with Yuffie. Catch you all later. Enjoy your iPhones and watch out for more videos throughout the week as well. Much love, peace, and thank you for 35k subscribers, for Lover of Tech and Lover of Tech Media team. We appreciate you and love you. Peace out.